Manamorphose. Are we Swan Songing that? Let's yield to the Channelers. I guess it stops them from playing a Stormwing. Honestly, preventing them from playing a Stormwing is probably valuable enough. Because I really don't want that card to hit play, so let's just Swan Song this. Take that! Get Swan-sanged! Hello and welcome, guys. We are back here for match 3 with the Amphibulet list that you see on screen. We are jamming some Froghemoth and Swan Song, and if these are cards that you're unfamiliar with and you don't understand why we're playing the cards that we're playing, why is our main deck Relic, what the heck is Swan Song, what does that do, and why is it we're splashing blue for, and why are we only playing 3 Explorers? If you're confused about what is going on with this deck list, then you need to check out match 1, where I cover in detail everything that you need to know about the deck. But if you literally just want to know the cards in the deck list, then you can check the MTG Goldfish link in the description below that will have the deck list and many other useful links that hopefully you can find access to there. And yeah, I don't have much else to say. We are currently 2-0, so maybe we can keep up this strong start, and I will see you guys in the games. So far, we've already made great use of our Relic. So I'm looking for a good Swan Song matchup here. That's what I'm hoping for, so we can showcase the card a little bit. We're playing against Astral Plane. Going to be on the play, of course. What do you take me for? And we have a Froghemoth in hand, but we have 0 actual lands. Of course, we'd have to bounce the Ghost Chamber to its own ability, so we obviously can't keep this. So we're definitely going to mulligan. Well, we have a turn 1 Amulet and a turn 3 Titan. We get turn 1 Amulet, turn 2 Bounce Land Azusa, turn 3 Titan. Pretty easily, and if we top deck another land, it's even better than that, so yeah, I do think we're going to keep this. I think we just ship the Summoners Pact as well, as the cards that we need are already in our hand. I guess there is some argument to shipping the Grazer here, in case our opponent has a discard spell to take our Titan, since we can play a turn 2 Azusa here regardless. I actually think that that might be a good move. It'll be a little unfortunate if we're playing against an aggressive deck, but if we're playing against an aggressive deck, then turn 3 Titan with Amulet out should hopefully be good enough. So I'm going to have faith and just hope that having the redundant Titan here will be better against a potential discard spell. Maybe it's not the right move since our opponent hasn't shown us Lurrus, so I feel like most discard decks these days are playing Lurrus, but I could be wrong. Our opponent has Arid Mesa. If we're playing against Burn, I just shipped a Grazer. Soulscar Mage. Yeah, shipping Grazer against the Soulscar Mage isn't the greatest, but at least we have the turn 3 Titan here on the play, so might still be fine. And we'll pick up the... No, wait, we definitely want to pick up the Growth Chamber. I almost made a huge mistake. Why would I do that? And we'll pass it back and just Titan them next turn, and... yeah. Swift Spear, okay. I guess they could bolt our Azusa and we don't have Titan this upcoming turn. Not that Grazer would have helped that. I guess if we had Grazer in this hand, well, we wouldn't have the Summoners Pact, so we'd have to top deck a Pact or a Grazer or an Azusa, I think. Dryad. Well, I mean, we'll play that. And hope that it survives. Probably not blocking with it, I would think. It's an interesting question. I don't think we can afford to lose this Dryad to a Bolt, if I'm being completely honest, so... Obviously, we can't leave our Growth Chamber in play. We have no other way to get to Titan. We're going to need to top deck 2 lands or a Garenbrig in order for Growth Chamber to help us get there naturally, and that's pretty unlikely, I would say, so... Or not that it's unlikely, but it takes too long, in my opinion, so we're not going to be blocking here. We're just going to be taking the chunk and hoping that our Titan can search up our 1 Valakut, since we are not playing a second copy, and hope that's good enough. Might be a little different if we were potentially facing down Aether Gust in game 2 or something, but Mutagenic Growth. I mean, if we're dead, we're dead. You know, not much we can do about that. Taken 6 so far. Just 6? I'm fine with that. Stormwing. Okay, well, we're going to try to get as many of these things out of play as possible with Valakuts. It might even be worth packing for a Grazer just so that we can haste off of Valakut. Leave the Stronghold untapped. Titan gets Valakut and something else, and we attack and get Vesuva. Probably the right choice. I'm going to start by playing out a couple lands here. I don't think there's anything at instant speed that would kill our Dryad, but always good practice to empty your land drops before doing anything else, especially when it involves Grazer, because Grazer doesn't take up a land drop, so... Yeah, I think the move is going to be to Grazer out the bounce land and leave the Stronghold untapped. So that's what I'm going to do. We might even just have straight up lethal here, if I'm being completely honest. See, we had the Grazer the whole time. Shame we can't just haste off a double Valakut here. That is one thing that I really miss with this list is... And we're going to pick up the Breeding Pool, as this way we have more mana left in play. One thing I miss in this list is the second Valakut. I personally think the second Valakut is very useful in Amulet in general, so... Of course, we're going to haste off of a Valakut here. The other land is pretty irrelevant. It could just be fetch land. I don't think that makes a whole lot of sense, but... Could even be Saga. That wouldn't be the worst. It really doesn't matter, though, if I'm being completely honest. Bounce land doesn't make sense. I guess it's just Saga. Well, we also might want to... I don't think we're going to lose our Titan here, but... We might want to play around having to pay for our Summoners Pact. I don't think that'll be too difficult, but... Whatever, we'll just get basic Forest. Why not? Just to play around things, you know. Again, I'm not worried about anything at 1 mana in game 1 here that would kill our Dryad, so... We'll attack, get Vesuva, copy the Valakut, and something else, and that might just be lethal. We'll have to do the math when we get there, but... This is already 8 damage from the Titan, so... Getting 2 lands with 2 Valakuts in play would be a total of 4 triggers for 3 damage each is 12 damage, plus the 8 they can block with the Stormwing, and that's 20 minus the 3 that they have to block is 17. If they have any spell like an Opt or something, then it's not lethal, though. I guess if we attack with a Dryad as well, then it is. I guess they block the Dryad. No, I think if we attack with a Dryad, then just sending all the Valakut triggers at them is lethal. I think. So we'll get to Vesuva. Oh, we can even get a fetch land here, and that would still be hyper lethal here. So, yeah, fetch land plus Vesuva is absolutely lethal. Copy the Valakut, of course. And the reason why this is absolutely lethal is we get 2 more targets from the fetch land searching for a land. So, yeah. Whew. So, shipping the Grazer didn't matter because we were on the play, most likely. Good to know. Alright, we want Dismembers, of course. We want Explosives against their 1-drop draws. We do not probably want Relics. I guess they could have Dragon's Rage Channeler. Do we care too much about that? I'm not really sure. We definitely want Explosives as well because it deals with Alpine Moon, and they're likely to have that. We might want Forces. We definitely want at least Foundation Breaker so we can pact in case they have Blood Moon, but Forces are dead otherwise, so I'm not a big fan of Force in this matchup. Is Swan Song worth it? I think the 2/2 that we give them could matter, but this stopping them from gusting our Titan or resolving a Blood Moon or something is probably relevant, so I'm going to bring it in, but it could be wrong, and we obviously want Fountain here. We don't... do we want the Relics or not? I feel like we want a Relic. We can trim the map, as I don't think we're likely to find that. We can trim Summoner's Pact just in case our opponent is playing like Gusts and Blood Moons and stuff that punish us for having to pact for a Titan. Likewise, I don't think that Cavern is going to be relevant here, so I'm going to trim one of those. They do play turn 1 Grazers, but that's not really a good enough reason. Explorer's a little slow, so I don't mind trimming it. Maybe even just cutting it entirely. Froghemoth is a really good way to play around their Dragon's Rage Channelers, and it also gains us life against their normal Prowess stuff, so... Froghemoth probably gets the nod here. Don't know that it's perfect, but we can trim a Saga or 2. Probably even 2 Sagas, because they're guaranteed to have Alpine Moon or Blood Moon, or both, so I think trimming a couple Sagas makes sense. And one other card. I guess the Breeding Pool. I don't know. Trimming a blue source feels bad when we're bringing in Swan Song, but taking the life from the Breeding Pool could be pretty annoying. I think it's fine to cut a Breeding Pool, and I'm not a big fan of Azusa in this matchup as it just dies to like everything, so... Even Lava Dart plus Flashback kills Azusa, so... Probably not where we want to be. I'm still not convinced that Swan Song is the move, but whatever. Only taking 2 relics instead of all 3 because paying 2 mana to exile all graveyards and draw a card is kind of slow against an opponent trying to kill you on turn 3, so... I mean, we have a Swan Song hand. We get turn 1 Amulet, turn 2 Dryad. We don't have... I guess our plan against Blood Moon is to hope we draw a land and then have blue up with the Dryad the turn after we play it, so they go turn 3 Blood Moon and we just Swan Song it and then Froghemoth them the turn after. I mean, I'm absolutely keeping this. probably just playing Cavern naming Giant, I think. They have Channeler. Well, look at that relic that we have. And we did draw the land, which is great. Do we want to play the Cavernous Souls out? I mean, just playing it naming Giant really isn't that bad. I don't mind it. Do not mind it. Do we want to name Giant or Frog? Or, yeah, Frog or Horror. We could put it on Froghemoth, but I'm not worried about it, to be honest. I'm just going to name Giant. Hopefully this won't come back to bite us. If we really had to, we could pick it up with the Gruul Turf, but play the Amulet out and pass. Hate having to expose it to like an Abrade or some type of Shatter effect, but we have to do this to be able to play Dryad on 2, so just going to make it happen. And if it doesn't work out, we'll play, I guess, a land and play in Pop Relic, maybe. Another Channeler. Our Relic of Progenitus loves to see that. Lava Dart. Okay, I was really afraid they were going to shatter our Amulet here. With a Replicate one. What is it called? Shattering Spree? I think it's Shattering Spree. I don't know if they play that anymore, but... Take our one. Play Dryad and land, and, yeah. Whew! Radiant Fountain is the perfect land, too. Cool, cool. And we could play the Relic out here, but I don't think it makes much sense to play it, just because we're gonna most likely need to hold up Swan Song here anyways, so we could pick up the Cavern and then play another land and just have land into Froghemoth, and if they kill the Dryad, then we're not reliant on bounce land particularly to cast our things. That's probably marginally better. They could Flame Slash Dryad or something. If they Flame Slash, are we Swan Songing it, though? And there's a distinct possibility. No, I think it's going to be right to pick up the the Gruul Turf here, just because I don't think our opponent can do anything that will get our Dryad out of play. We're going to Swan Song whatever they do this upcoming turn, and if we top deck Titan, getting Titan into play with a Dryad out already to clear their board that way is going to be better than probably frogging them. Sorry to disappoint all of you if that happens. I will absolutely play this Frog next turn if it makes sense. Okay, if it makes sense. A blue cantrip, we are not going to Swan Song. Manamorphose. Are we Swan Songing that? Let's yield to the Channelers. I don't know if we are Swan Songing that. I don't think it makes much sense to do so. I guess it stops them from playing a Stormwing. Honestly, preventing them from playing a Stormwing is probably valuable enough. Because I really don't want that card to hit play, so let's just Swan Song this. Take that! Get Swan Sanged! They have Bolt on the Dryad. I wasn't going to block anyways. I guess they're flashing back Lava Dart. Yeah. I mean, we can still play Sun Home, play in Pop Relic, and then the turn after have Gruul Turf into Frog. That's probably pretty good, so... If we draw a Grazer off the top, or a Pact, then we can just go straight for the Frog. Which I probably would do. Another Swan Song. This one we cannot cast. Yeah, so I guess we're probably supposed to play in Pop Relic before we play land, just in case we draw like a blue source or something, or like a Grazer, or something that we would want to actually like put into play. Or an Amulet. I mean, yeah, I guess this plays around... This doesn't really play around Shattering Spree to hold it, but... I mean, to play it, but holding it doesn't play around anything either, so I'm just going to play it. Again, if we draw a Titan, we basically just kill them on the spot. Manamorphose into Stormwing now, perhaps? If they have Stormwing, I'm going to celebrate a little bit. Another Manamorphose, okay. Going deep. I guess that was just a Manamorphose they were casting to try to get Delirium and find something else to do, maybe. I guess if they had Alpine Moon to name the Gruul Turf, which they'd have to remember that we have, or like go back through the logs and look for, that would kind of get us. But other than that, I think that... I guess even Stormwing would still be kind of a problem, since Froghemoth doesn't really do much against them, but... Or against that, I guess I should say. Hopefully they swing with some of this stuff so we can connect with Froghemoth at least once. Gain the 1 life from the Soul Scar and just permanently make these Dragon's Rage Channelers do nothing. Or we just top deck Titan and win, you know. They bolt us. They're trying their best to hit Delirium here. They mill over a Stormwing. Love to see that. Love to see it. Another spell might enable their channelers. Man, if they just pass with this without using this mana at all, whew. Oh man, that feels good. Oh, that is too good. All right, there's a Titan. So I guess our opponent's dead. Let's 5 to make sure we have no yields. But yeah, we can Boros Garrison and Slayer Stronghold double haste our Titan, and then attack, get Vesuva and something else, and our opponent's dead because we can leave the Sun Home untapped. And we even get to play our Titan uncounterably, so... Whew. I think that Swan Song might have been actually really impactful, to be honest. There's no way to know for sure what our opponent had, but my intuition says that Swan Song was actually just busted. Alright, let's haste our guy off of Slayer Stronghold and Boros Garrison. Maybe there would have been a way to cast Froghemoth here too, but yeah, let's not get too fancy. Let's just kill him. They're tapped out, no blockers. What are we gonna do? Kill our opponent. That's right, class. Bang. We'll pick up the Stronghold. Go to combat. Attack. Say yes, of course. We'll get Vesuva, copy that Boros Garrison, and the other one can be Basic Force to play around Blood Moon. Let's just pick up the Vesuva. And our opponent's dead. Wow. Look at that. Just a easy 2-0 against Blue-Red Prowess. Alright. Swan Song looking kind of hot there, not gonna lie. That was pretty good. Let me know what you thought about that match in the comments below. 3-0 hype. Thank you, Grilled Cheese, for the list. And yeah, just tearing it up. I'll see you guys in match 4. This is Redface Menace, signing off.